Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Today we're going to do an updated character guide on Yuna, so this is going to be with her FR, which just came out. Now my Yuna is fully built, very maxed out, except for the FR, because I already had her green-blue. Her FR is very good, we'll talk about it. I kind of want it, but I've got so many FRs, I definitely don't need it, right? But her FR is very good if you decide to pick it up. But in this video, we're going to go ahead and look at Yuna's calls. We're going to look at her artifacts and her spheres here. And if you're not familiar with Yuna, she's pretty much an all-out support character. Keeps your party healed. And she's really focused on kind of like debuff evasion and healing debuffs, which is very good as well, right? So first, let's go ahead and take a look at Yuna's calls. I would say Yuna's calls are actually quite good. They're very useful in specific fights. She's never going to be like the first call, like, oh my gosh, I need to have it right away. But basically what her calls do is they both have Isuna on them, which basically will cleanse your party, which is what you want, right? So Isuna is a party cleanse, and it extends your party's buffs by 1 turn, so that's pretty decent. And then on the LD call, this also heals your party debuff, so it cleanses debuffs as well, which is good. And then it gives you brave damage 20% if the party has no debuffs, which is very good, right? And it does a big attack. But basically, you want to think of her calls as just like double cleanse. So if you have a fight that's very pesky with very powerful debuffs, this call basically has a 2-for-1 where you, with one call character, you can get 2 different kind of debuff wipes if you need it. So I do think there is definitely some use in that, right? Let's take a look at Yuna's actual kit here and look at the character. So we're going to look at her artifacts and her spheres next. Her artifacts are very easy because she is a Cursed Arts character. So if you're not sure what a Cursed Art character is, I did a video previously where I talked about 15 things that you need to know that you might not know, and Cursed Arts characters are one of the things I talked about. But essentially, there are 6 characters in the game, and Yuna's one of them, that has Cursed Artifacts where they tried doing the character rework through the artifacts instead of just giving it to them. So the artifacts are way overpowered compared to other artifacts. So you definitely want double Cursed Artifacts with Yuna, which is Charged Asuna Boost and Buff Attack Boost all. The Asuna Boost is going to give her 1 extra use of Asuna and raises her max Brave by 40%. So normally the Asuna use isn't that big of a deal because you typically don't run out of skill uses. But Yuna now is a Force Charger, so having the extra Asuna use is very good. And then getting that fat max Brave up is also, like, dude, 40%? So you have 3 of these, you're getting 120% max Brave up. That's quite significant. That's why we call it a rework within the artifact. So the reason why people don't like the Cursed Artifacts characters is because if you don't have the Cursed Artifacts built out, the characters are way less impressive because there's a lot built into these, right? And then the Buff Attack Boost All raises party's max Brave and attack by 10%. So basically, you're looking at, if you don't have all 3 of these, if you do have all 3, it's a 30% max Brave and attack up for the party, which is quite significant. So if you don't have it, that's a lot you're losing out on. So you definitely want both of these. And you can see mine set up. I got 3 of them with both of those maxed out. So that's what you want for artifacts. For spheres, her spheres are pretty easy. You basically want double Paladin Cecil for sure. She has encouragement armor, which means that she's like a Brave Gain support character, right? So having double Paladin Cecil is going to allow her Brave Gains to work ridiculously better than they should, even if there's Brave damage reduction. And then the D slot, you just want any attack boosting sphere. So Ash, Saz, Lise, Hope, just not Luna Freya because she doesn't do weakness damage, but any of those D slots that increase party attack are what you want. Waka is probably one of the better ones, and not every character can use Waka because you have to have like 5 buffs. Well, Yuna has 5 buffs just inherently, so I would say Waka would actually probably for me be best in slot. I actually don't have any Waka spheres. I gotta get some. I might have some Waka weapons I could level up, but yeah, Yuna, I would say Waka is probably what you'd want to put there. But I've got Saz, and it's an attack up. It's fine, right? So anyways, with that, before we hop into the showcase, Yuna does have a bonus I need to talk about. And I try to point this out, but some characters have extra bonus weapons in the game. Extra bonus weapons that are not obtainable on banners, okay? So I want, of course, the 20% battery warning. Of course. Don't worry. We'll get through this video just fine, right? So let's go ahead and talk. So I'm actually got her bonus weapon equipped. A lot of these bonus weapons, I do really like the arts on them. Like, I think I actually think this looks really good with this costume, like this alternate weapon here, right? So let's go ahead and look at it. So this is an additional 15 CP weapon called Amber Rod. Now, Amber Rod, some of these bonus weapons aren't that significant, and some of them are more worth it just for the weapon class, or some people that just quote-unquote want the character fully maxed out, even if the new stats aren't that crazy. Amber Rod is an example of one that you don't have to have, but it is a cool weapon class, or you might want it just to say you have the character fully maxed out. But one effect is it just makes her normal Brave Attack Thunder element, which is pointless, like you're never going to see that, because this would not include like her Transform Brave Attack, which is what you're always using. It literally has to be a normal Brave Attack for this to count. So you like never get that anyways. It's insignificant, whatever. It's kind of like Rem has one like this that makes her Brave Attack Ice. You just never see it. Doesn't matter. So that's pretty much a throwaway. And then she has a 25% chance to buff her speed plus 10%. So first of all, speed buffing isn't really a priority in this game. So like the speed buff alone, even if that was 100%, that's still not like that significant. And you'll have a 25% chance to proc it. So literally her passive is a throwaway on this weapon, on this Amber Rod. But the weapon gloss is super cool. So look at it again. If you like that weapon gloss, if you have this costume, I think this is the best looking weapon gloss on this costume, personally. So to me, it's worth it just for the weapon gloss. And it's only a 15 CP weapon, so it's only 10 Power Stones. So it's not that expensive if you want to pick it up. But if you're like low on Power Stones, this would not be a priority. You'd want other characters' weapons who are much more important than that, right? But it's there. It's something you can grab. But I like that Amber Rod. Looks very, very good. All right, well, let's hop into the showcase. Honestly, Yuna is pretty easy to play. Let me just hop. I want to just see out of curiosity if I happen to have a Yuna on my friends list. It's pretty early. Her stuff just dropped. But here, Black Nova's on my list. Any chance that you have the FR? Let me just see. Because if Nova happens to have the FR... Oh, he does! Okay. Okay, my boy... yeah, we might do that. My boy Black Nova. Shout out to Black Nova. We're going to showcase your Yuna in this video because I don't have her Force. And I can bring in Black Nova's Yuna and use her Force. So I think that'll be kind of fun. So let's go ahead and hop in. And actually, I don't like that summon. Let me go ahead and put Brothers in. Okay. Let's go ahead and hop in and take a look at Yuna. So... Yuna, there is a particular way that I like to open with Yuna, but after that, it's really just using the attack based on the situation, right? And she's got, once again, as a support character, there's a lot you can do with her. So the first thing I'll show you is I usually like to open with Cheer. Now you'll see Cheer has very low skill uses, so her main force charging move is probably going to be Asuna, because you're going to want to have some Cheers available, because Cheer has a lot on it. So let's go ahead and pop Cheer. This is a big fat party heal, and you can see Brave gains up the wazoo. We're instantly max Brave, and it's a free instant turn, and you can see at Force Charge, we're already up to 8.8% on the Force gauge, right? So Yuna is a character that if you're going to use her, you definitely want to Force Enhance 30 her, because she's got 2 Force Charging abilities. So what Yuna is going to offer you as a support character is a lot of battery, a lot of healing, a lot of Brave gains, and Force Charging. So very, very good. And the big thing is she has a lot of cleansing, and not a lot of characters have cleansing, and that can be very important. So I actually really like Yuna. I think she's a very, very good character, right? So Cheer did a big party battery, big party heal, free instant turn, gives herself a buff called Face Refuge. And so this buff is just an Eye Brave and defense up. Nothing too crazy, right? But Eye Brave is pretty important on Yuna because some of her battery does scale off of Eye Brave heavier than a normal character would. So that is good to know that she's got that. And then the party gets a buff called Spira's Blessing and an attack up for 12 turns. So the reason why I like opening with Cheer is just making sure I've got those party buffs up, right? So the attack up, obviously very good. You want to attack up the party. And then we've got the Spira's Blessing. So let me just pull that up here. So that's just a Max Brave and Brave regen, and that scales off of Eye Braves, okay? So when you're looking at spheres, if you can get Eye Brave on a sphere as well, Eye Brave isn't bad. She can use a little Eye Brave, but don't waste an artifact slot on it. You want those 2 cursed artifacts for sure, right? Now, since we've got free instant turns, let's go ahead and bust off Asuna here and just try that. So Asuna is, you didn't see it there, but it's basically going to be a party cleanse. And it does a big battery based off of Eye Brave. Free turns, and it does also extend party buffs by 1 turn, which that can be very good as well, right? Now, the other thing you're going to notice with Yuna, and actually what I think I'm going to do, I think I might just hop into her, let's just do the BT effect, I guess, and because I don't want to go into a full burst phase here, let's just do the BT effect. Let's just show that off. She also has an AA, which is just base attack up, which just doesn't attack, eye brave, and brave damage limit up, which is good. Like, her AA is good. As a support character, you definitely want to throw that up, right? So let's go ahead and do our BT effect. This is called Descending. We'll just get that up right away. So let me see what kind of damage she does here. I haven't used her yet since her rework. Let's see what we're looking at here. I'm guessing this will be like a mill AoE in that range. That's typically what BT attacks do when they're maxed out. Okay. Oh, 1.4 mil AoE. Yeah, very nice. Because I think before her rework, that was maybe doing about a mil. So yeah, nice little bump in damage there, right? Luna Freya, let's go ahead and quick prayer Yuna, assuming she's got room for it, and she does. So yeah, let's quick prayer her up. Perfect. And then sure, we'll just put Luna Freya's BT effect up just to make Yuna look a little bit better. It's always kind of odd showcasing support characters because then I'm supporting them to make them do more damage. So normally you wouldn't be supporting a support character, but you know, you can run full support comps as long as you can get enough damage in, right? You know, if you got the right FRs to make it happen, you totally can do that. All right, and then we'll have Rem. Rem will go ahead and just bring Yuna up, and then we can let Yuna spam some more turns. And then I'll probably try to like ramp up to a, I might use my Yuna to actually like ramp up into a force and then bring in the friend Yuna. I think that'll be kind of fun. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay. Perfect. All right, so we got my Yuna back up. All right. So one thing you're going to notice here, and I'll use one of my free turns on it, is that Yuna has an overhead, and right now it's only got 2 stacks on it. Now, it had more stacks coming in. I burned some of those with turns, but this is her Valifor overhead buff. This comes from her EX. So if you want to refresh it, you're going to refresh it with the EX. The EX is going to refresh it up to 8 turns. This basically gives her her Brave and her HP attack plus. So she's going to get Energy Ray plus plus, and she's going to get Sonic Wings plus plus. Energy Ray is the one you're going to use more often because that's the AoE attack, and most of the time you have multiple enemies, right? So let's pop Energy Ray so you guys can see this. Okay, so we just did, wow, a mil AoE. I'm sorry, guys. I'm actually really impressed with that damage because Yuna was not doing anywhere near that before this rework. That's actually really good damage. So just press an HP plus and do a mil AoE. I'm actually like a little blown away. I'm a little flabbergasted. That's pretty good damage for Yuna. Our girl Yuna's putting up some good damage. All right, so anyways, that's Energy Ray. Now, Sonic Wings is her single target attack. You basically want to use this more often against single target enemies, or if you want to retain your Brave. So what it does is it does huge Brave retention so that she can't really be broken afterwards unless the enemies do like a big gravity or something. So let's see what I'm not going to lie. I'm really curious what Sonic Wings is going to look like after seeing that Energy Ray. That Energy Ray was impressive. All right, so yeah, a mil single target, right? So basically, and once again, mine's a maxed out Yuna minus FR, but she's green BT, and I don't have an Ultima weapon on her, so with the Ultima weapon, she's probably going over a mil on those attacks. I'm actually really impressed with that damage from Yuna, I'm not going to lie. Let's go ahead and let's pop... yeah, let's pop her EX, and we've shown pretty much everything else, right? Oh, we have to show her LD, too. But yeah, let's pop the EX while we have it, because we need to refresh Valifor, right? So Valifor's gone right now, so we're going to basically bring Valifor back in. Let me see how much damage this does. I'm really curious. Okay, yeah, so like a mil and then 400k splash. Not bad. Like, her damage is actually a lot better than I was expecting. I'm a little bit surprised. Okay, let's go ahead and get Yuna back in here. Sure, we'll just keep swapping around. So Energy Blast the EX. It did that big AoE attack with the Brave Gain, does a party battery. Now, this battery's scaled on HP damage. And then she gets the buff called Valifor's Favor. And the Valifor's Favor essentially is what brings Valifor out, but it also does a good party Brave regen scaled off of her Eye Brave, does HP regen for the party, and then attack and max Brave up. So some good buffs attached with that, and then you're getting the overhead from Valifor, right? So now you see my Valifor has refreshed back up to 8, so we're good to go there. And then we basically just have the LD to show off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ramp a little bit. Let's just Isuna and Cheer, and you can see we can just ramp with that. So I would say if you're going to go in on Yuna, you definitely want to force enhance 30 her, right? So yeah, we can just ramp up. Now here's the thing, as I'm ramping up, notice my Valifor turns are going down. So one thing you have to be careful for with Yuna, if you're planning to use her as like your force character and like do damage, you want to make sure that Valifor is refreshed before you hop into that force time, right? What I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pop her LD here, and then we'll get Yuna up again, and we'll actually do the force time with the other Yuna. Well, actually, no. I think I will force time with the friend Yuna, but then I'll use my Yuna's burst phase to show off the damage. That's the clever thing to do. Oh, the thing is, this will be interesting. We're going to test something out here, because most characters, you know, have like a force effect where they get more damage if they're the ones doing it. I want to test if it's just that character name, or if it has to be the character that used the force. So we'll find out. We will definitely find out right now. We're going to experiment a little bit. So, yeah, I think I'm good. Let's pop the LD and look at that here. Let's do it. And actually, before we go crazy, I'm going to put this Raijin call on, just to make sure the enemies don't mess with us. Because these enemies can, like, paralyze, and they can kind of surprise you with some HP damage. So Raijin's just going to make us safe there. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and LD, and we'll talk about what the LD does. So let me just kind of watch the LD go off here. I want to see the damage. Very curious on the damage. Okay, oh, 800k AoE, so, like, actually not as strong as, like, the EX, okay. Or, like, her HP plus attack, right? That freaking, the freaking, Energy Nova plus or whatever, like, crazy damage from her attacks, right? Alright, so, the LD removes party's debuff. So, other than Asuna, this is your other party cleanse, right? That big AoE attack that we saw there with a battery. And this battery scales on attack. So her battery's just coming from all kinds of places. Alright, 10% battery warning. We're almost there. We'll get there. She gets a buff called I Can Fly, and it does refresh her Valifor as well. So if you don't have the EX up and you need to get that on the spot, the LD can work for that also, right? I Can Fly is a party attack. Max Brave, HP damage up, Brave damage limit up, and Brave gains up. And then if the party has no debuff, so it kind of emphasizes her cleansing, she gets an extra Brave damage up, and the party gets more attack, Max Brave, HP damage, and Brave gain. So it's really important with Yuna that you keep the party cleansed of debuffs to make her work really well, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to swap with Lunafreya. Am I going to swap? No, I'm just going to... yeah, I'm going to swap with Lunafreya. Let's do that. Let's swap. We'll let Lunafreya just take a regular turn here. I'm going to swap Rem out for the friend Yuna, and we're going to use the friend's force time. So let's go ahead and we will just pop this. Now that I know I'm in that 10% warning, I got to go quick here, but we'll get this force time in. We will get this in. Alright, so we'll let that go through. Alright, so Rem, let's swap into the friend Yuna. And then we're going to pop the force time. Alright, so this is called Banishing Strokes. Let's go ahead and use this. This also is a party cleanse, which is good. I want to see the damage here. Partnering with Bartz. Very interesting pairing, for sure. Okay, what do we got for damage? Alright, 1.3 mil, not too bad. And once again, I don't know the friend unit's build, but it looked like a fairly maxed out Yuna. So we'll assume this is a pretty good Yuna here. Alright, so now we're in force time. So now I can basically burst phase with my Yuna, and we can show off kind of the damage here, right? So basically what this does, the two big things that it does is it cleanses when you use it, which is good. But now during the force time, the party has 100% debuff evasion. Now, I haven't done Yuna's fight for this event yet, the Shinryu. I guarantee it's going to be like a Malboro or something that's going to constantly debuff you, and it's going to be a pain in the butt. So they're going to emphasize debuff evasion, I'm sure. So you might need to bring Lena or something if you're not bringing Yuna, but we'll look at the fight. Maybe it's very skippable. Maybe I can Enacro it. I haven't looked at the fight yet, but I'll put out a video when I get it done. But her HP damage conditions, so it's similar to Charlotta, where one is just to do a Transform, Brave, and HP attack. Literally every character in the game can do that, because even something as simple as like an HP plus counts, and that's plus 40%. So that's a nice chunk that any character can activate. So very flexible there. And then as long as the ally acts with no debuffs, plus 20%. So this is kind of like Lilith and Iroha, where this is a very good flexible force time you can have. Basically, for free, it's plus 60%. Because if Yuna is in your party, you are able to keep the party cleansed. And if you have the FR effect up, you cannot be debuffed. So this literally is a for free 60%. You just have to make sure you're capping HP or Brave attack plus attacks, right? Then, if you act with no debuff, it's 40% if it's Yuna. So if Yuna takes a turn, it should be 80%. And if it's other characters, it should be 60. Now with my Yuna, I have a feeling it's still going to be 60, but we'll see if it literally has to be the same Yuna that used it, or if any Yuna can do it. So let's test it out. So we're going to use Energy Ray Plus, and basically, I'm just going to spam that over and over and over again. So let's just spam Energy Ray. Let's see what percent we get from this. Yeah, 63. So she didn't get the full 40% because it technically has to be the same Yuna that used the force time. But this 60%, this is what like all of your team would get for free. So I think I'm literally just going to spam Energy Ray here because that's my best damaging attack, and we just watch the gauge go up 63% each time. Sure, let's do it. Energy Ray. Energy Ray. Energy Ray. Going all the way through. So it's a nice steady force time, right? Now, I would say none of this is like a must-have. I still probably like Lunafreya over Yuna. But if you're an account that is lacking a good support character, like Yuna actually is a pretty good pickup. Because she's got a very flexible force time. She does literally everything you want a support character to do. She is a character that can tag along. Now, that being said, we just had Lil Set, who I also think is very good. And I do predict that Lunafreya is coming back on that campaign banner they talked about in the community stream. And Lunafreya, I do think, is still better than Yuna as a support character. But Yuna is, I think, competing for probably more damage than Lunafreya now. With the damage I'm seeing from her HP plus attack, pretty darn good. She's putting up some numbers. So definitely, I would not feel bad about going in on Yuna if you like her and want to build her up. She seems like very, very good to me, right? So we can do a couple of other character attacks here, right? So sure, let's do, so on Lunafreya, we have to do an HP attack plus, so let's go do it, but we should be getting like 60%. Should be. Yeah, 63%, so same. Now this is the friend Yuna, right? So now with the friend Yuna, we're going to go ahead and Energy Ray, and this should give us like 80-something%. Let's see. Yep, 83%, so we got the bonus there. So basically, it's a for free, very easy to use. Yuna's going to get 80%, everyone else is going to get 60%. That's a good force time in my book. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think of Yuna. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.